have it all. I can have it all.
Hi, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. Question I get all the time is, how do I apply a law of attraction, the universal laws, when I have difficult family members? Can I change them? What do I do? Should I just cut off from them and not see my family, or how do I relate to them? So that's a really big question. We all have people in our lives that have come maybe from a negative perspective or a negative attitude. And if you've been doing any type of personal growth for a while, and I know I have for 20 years, there's people in my family that are where I used to be because they necessarily haven't done their growth. Or maybe they don't have the awareness that there is something that they need to shift to make their life a little bit better. Maybe they have a victim mentality. Maybe they're a little narcissistic where everything is always about them. No matter what the person's coming from and what patterns and circumstances they have within them, if they're not doing growth, or even those that are doing growth but they're still not seeing, or maybe they're difficult to deal with, things you need to do is to protect yourself. And that's where boundaries come in. Boundaries is not about stopping or trying to get somebody else to do something. Boundaries are about yourself and are inside of yourself. So what do I mean by that? When someone, maybe you're having family over and they make a rude comment about your house or a decoration in your house or the way something looks or the way you look or the way you're parenting or anything, if someone makes a rude comment to you, what typically happens is that we get ignited, right? We get this emotional reaction to them. So it's hard to stay centered. So if you know you're going to be in front of, with, sharing an evening with someone that pushes your buttons, know that you have to center yourself within yourself first and have something that you can say to the person. For example, I have a family member that would say some pretty sharp things, and the way I got to it, instead of continuing to get reactive as I used to in the past, is whatever comment she would make to me, I would say, well, that's an interesting perspective. And that way, it was like I didn't have to connect with it. I didn't have to agree with it. I didn't have to defend myself. I didn't have to argue with it. I'm allowing, and that's where the law of allowing comes in, I allowed her to have her perspective. And if you look at it from that, it's her perspective. It's not right or wrong. You don't have to change or do anything to appease this person or make that person happy. That's her perspective. I have other family members that are very much conditioned in being a victim, and they always want to create some kind of drama. I'm really clear in my life that I don't want to create drama, and I don't want to be around people that constantly create drama. It's draining when I get to that level. So I choose to not have a close relationship with those family members. Doesn't mean that I'm offended by them, doesn't mean that I hold resentment for them, doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's just for me to protect myself, I can't spend a lot of time with them. Trust is a huge thing for me. So that there's someone in my family or someone at work you work with or someone like that 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 you just can't trust, be discerning about who you tell what you tell to. If you have a big, beautiful dream that you desire, you're not going to share that dream with someone that's going to be negative or that someone's going to cut it down or put doubt in your mind because they're coming from that perspective. So my advice is whenever you're dealing with anybody that's difficult to be around, is you have to decipher for yourself, how much time do you want to be around that person? We have different levels of relationships. We have the closest, most absolute intimate relationships, that I consider my husband, where I share everything with him. And, I know that no matter what I'm going through or no matter what quirky behaviors I have or maybe unpleasant things that I do, he's still going to love me. And I still trust him that he's got me and that he loves me. So that's my most ultimate relationship. And then I've got friends who I know I can trust and I love spending time with. They get me. It's just easy to be around them. We have the same kind of consciousness and thought process, and we believe in universal laws. And then there's the people that, are my family members, maybe cousins, that I love them, but I just can't be around them because of the way they choose to live their lives. There's different levels of relationships that we have in our lives. Not everybody has to be in that category of the most intimate, connected relationship that you have. So that's up for you to create in your mind those boundaries of who you want to surround yourself with. It's really important. And people like your parents. I know my mom and I used to have a very, argumentative relationship. But because of all the buttons that she used to push inside of me and all the places I've healed within myself, we now have a very beautiful, connected relationship. She's still negative. She's still very much seeped in lack and looking from the perspective that nothing's ever enough. But because I allow her to be who she is, and I don't let her push my buttons anymore because I've healed those places, I can now spend more time with my mom and have a very different relationship than I used to. As a matter of fact, we went out for dinner with my family last night, and my mom got me this beautiful necklace that has this locket that you open up, and it said, "The day I gave birth to you was one of the best days of my life." And, and it says, "Love, Mom," on it. 10 years ago, my mom would have never given me something like that, and we would have never had that connection. But she felt the truth in that, and I feel the truth in that, because that's all the healing I've done. That was a very, very difficult relationship for me, but each button pushed, I healed within myself. I also had to give my boundaries of when I was going through those times, how much time I can spend with her, and what was enough. When they come to Montreal, they don't stay in my house. They stay at a hotel, because I know the boundaries of how much time I want to spend and the breaks that I need. Because as a human being, I'm very extroverted on some ways, but I also know myself enough to know that I need my own downtime. So there's things as you start working and becoming more aware of yourself, it's always about yourself and your own energy and what your energy does when you're around other people. Is it an opportunity? Are you getting reactive and upset? It's an opportunity to go within and seeing why within yourself you're reactive and upset. But then, if you see a pattern that someone's always doing, you get to choose how much time and energy you want to spend with them. So I hope this has been helpful. Relationships, we have so many different people. There's a variety of people on this planet. And some people run patterns that are really rooted from a wounded place. And these people that are wounded sometimes want to wound others because that's where they're coming from. You don't have to take that abuse. I'm just saying that. So, hope you have a great week. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're taking away. Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.